What's going on, people? It's your boy Black Ice. Welcome back to the Expansion Pack podcast, where we download this week's gaming news, more specifically today's gaming news, and we bring it straight to you. And I say today in particular because we're recording this on oh my god, it's Tuesday, right? Is it Monday? Or is it Tuesday?
Yes, it is
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, September 13th. We just got a Nintendo Direct today. We just got a PlayStation State of Play. A lot of big things happening. We also got the Ubisoft event last weekend, I should say. There's a lot of news that came out of all this stuff. So, got a lot to talk about this week. Again, this is the Expansion Pack podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Black Ice, joined by my co-hosts each and every week, starting off with Goopmaster Flex to my right. If you guys are watching this on the YouTubes. What's going on, Manny?
Just staying gooping, hooping, and we snooping. Wait, no, snoozing.
Snoozing.
Oh boy, Lord have mercy.
He needs to be snoozing because it's late. Well, it's not that late, but my boy's a little tired. It's all good. There's a lot of stuff happening this week, but he was definitely been hooping. 2K came out this past week. We'll save that conversation around 2K for another time. We can't really assess 2K.
No, y'all got a lot to say.
We got plenty to say, but you can never really assess 2K when it first comes out. You gotta give it like 2 weeks, maybe a month. Let the cheese run through and see if it actually ruins the game. But so far, 2 thumbs up. So far, very positive experience online. But yeah, like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later. But aside from my guy Goop, we also got the man down low here, Mr. 525. What's going on, Chris?
Feeling like a villain, man. I'm tired too, Goop. I feel you. I don't know if I'm at your level, but I am tired as well. However, tired, not tired, whatever. We got to talk about some games. There's a lot of games to talk about today, y'all. Like, for real.
There is a lot of shit. A lot of shit. Let's not waste any time. Let's not waste any time. Chris, you already getting into it. Let's get this shit loaded, bro.
And it is time for the buffer, y'all. This week, really simple. What is that one piece of gaming gear that you simply cannot do without? Like you got it. It's a part of your setup and whatever. And if you somehow had to part ways with it, it would truly hurt you to your core. Not that dramatic, but actually kind of that dramatic, because that's how I'll be feeling. For me, easily, bro, and I mean easily. And I'm gonna throw you a little bit of a shout out here, Black Ice, because you put me on. Would I have gotten here despite this? I don't know, maybe. I don't know. It might take a lot longer, or it just might have never happened. But I will say, Black Ice put me on to the greatness of audio in your headset. I promise y'all, man, I used to use the John that came with the damn system. That shit is horrendous. But I was using it because it was just like, bruh, who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's a headset, like, what the fuck? Or I had bought this other really cheap pair off of Amazon. They were really bad, y'all. Like, really bad. But I can only say they're bad now in comparison to what I got now. Back then, it was like, it's whatever. Now, though, I don't give a fuck. Inflation, whatever you want to say. Listen, man, you gotta have a good pair of headsets, man. You just do. You just do. It is mandatory. People don't understand. It changes the game, y'all. It changes the game for real. Like, for real, for real. As soon as I got it the first time, I started hearing things that I didn't know was there. And I think overall, one of the biggest things is, and I got to give the developers in video games this right here, because I think a lot of this stuff goes completely unnoticed, but it's a lot of the background noises and a lot of the environmental noises that they put in video games. Dude, you don't hear any of that shit with a shitty, not microphone, but a shitty headset. You just don't. Sometimes I'm playing Destiny, I'm just walking around, and I hear little twinkles, and I could hear splashes in the background of puddles and little critters or whatever in the background. You can hear all of that shit. And then if you have one of these headsets that have the spatial audio and all that stuff, it truly is like wild at that point. Yeah, man, I couldn't go back. There's no way. You can call me audio elitist if you choose to. I don't care. I'm not going back, y'all. Y'all not sending me back. Ain't no way. So That's me.
Obviously, I felt that because that I kind of had a feeling you were gonna
Mhm.
say that one, so I had a backup answer. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, audio is everything. The types of games that we play, whether it's Destiny, whether it's Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, like competitive shooters in particular. Hell, even Fortnite. Like being able to
Yeah.
hear what's coming around the corner, and and then also when you're playing a more single player based experience and having that level of immersion, it's unprecedented. I'll never forget, Chris. When we were playing the Division 2. Funny enough that this is coming up because we're going to talk a little bit about Ubisoft later on, but that was one of the first experiences I had with Dolby Atmos like tuned game, like a game
Mhm.
that was built from the ground up with Dolby Atmos in mind. And bro, we were in them streets of DC, and I'm hearing all types of shit, bro. I was like, bro, this is so clean. The audio was so
Yeah.
clean. You could hear gunfights taking place like two blocks
Yeah.
down. I'm like, bro, this is amazing. And I obviously, I've been on the audio game for a minute, but actually being able to expose myself to something with Dolby Atmos, that was something different, bro. And thankfully, more and more games are building on that, with their own versions of spatial audio, so on and so forth. Even Sony's got their 3D audio stuff, which is amazing as well. So it's just good to see that even more so with this generation pushing forward with audio and getting that immersive layer down is like amazing. So good to see.
Mhm.
Well, Manny, what you got, man?
Yeah, besides headset, because I feel like, nowadays everybody gotta have a headset. That's mandatory. I remember we used to be rocking those cheap $20 mics before like Turtle Beaches became popular and shit. But me personally, I gotta go with monitors and the fact that, we finally, at least in the console side, tapped into 120 frames. Or, I've been playing PC as well, playing Warzone over 100 frames, definitely clutch compared to like playing with console, and especially the FOV slider. But it's you know, it's nice to have, because when you're playing those quick first person shooters or whatever, every frame counts. So to have a high refresh rate on a monitor, I feel like that's a big necessity nowadays for gaming. And thankfully this Eve, well, formerly known as I forgot what they're called now, but
They're
this
called
E4K
Doe.
one.
Doe.
Dough, there we go, dough, because they're making dough off of us. But
Clearly.
yeah, but yeah, like I said, this at least being able to play with a high frame rate is pretty nice for like first person shooters. And I feel like it's a necessity because, going back, I'm sure they probably don't make these as much anymore, but like back when I used to play on my like just like a cheap Walmart HD TV that I got like, a long time ago because that's all I could get. But and then going to like, like a 60 refresh rate and then jumping to a 60 to 144. And it's like, yeah, I feel like I can't go back now.
I feel you on that, bro. So that was actually going to be my backup answer. So, that. Thanks, guys. You both took my answers, but it's all good because I got a lot more to say about the monitor thing, bro.
Mhm.
So I also have the Doe Spectrum monitor that Manny was talking about, formerly known as Eve, and I just gotta say, in addition to the higher refresh rate, right? Like it's a different ball game entirely to be able to double your refresh rate, going from 60 frames to 120 frames. At first, I was curious about it, but I didn't think it would change the gaming experience that much. Clearly, was very fucking wrong. It's just so much smoother. It's absolutely insane how much smoother it is. And I remember at first when first got the monitor in, so it's 4K, so that's already like amazing being able to see all the extra detail and whatnot when you're playing a game, especially for games like Fortnite and even PUBG. Like having that detail when you're looking out into a distance is like a super big deal when you're sniping and doing all those different types of things. But I remember when Rainbow Six Siege was like one of the first games that I played with the higher refresh rate, and I just felt like I was like on X Games mode, bro. Like it was just so different. I was just like, yo, this doesn't feel fair. Actually, I think Destiny was another one that I played at that high of a level, and I was like, this
No,
doesn't feel
Crucible, yeah.
fair, bro.
Remember when I remember you saying that exact thing.
It's like I'm bouncing around, I'm snapping on people, like getting my snipes off. I was like, this is not fair. Like,
I
everybody needs
agree.
to have access to this because I feel like I am just like I just took speed or I just took a shot of adrenaline. Like everything was just flowing like way faster than it normally would, and it was just amazing. So like I really have to say the monitor situation, a big deal. If you guys can get yourself that Spectrum monitor, um obviously we're not sponsored or nothing like that, but
Yeah, Sony
though
released some too.
oh, Sony did release some too, but forget
Mhm.
Sony. Doe, if y'all want to, if y'all want to talk, if anybody from Doe, aka Eve, is listening or anything like that, y'all want to talk about a little sponsorship, we got y'all. We use your product. We definitely recommend it highly, 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 highly. So come hit us up. Hit us up.
You can
Um,
start me up, Sony. I appreciate you.
so yeah, I mean, Sonny, you can hit us up too. If you want to supply some monitors for us
We
to
love free things, you know.
test out and review that. We're definitely down for that too. But Doe, come talk, come talk. But enough with the icebreaker or the buffer as we now call it. Chris, thank you for that one. It's definitely fun. Because I love to talk about the audio stuff, and I definitely love to talk about these monitors. But I also love
Hmm.
to talk about these games, and we got plenty to talk about, guys. So we're gonna, we talked about it in the beginning. We got a few different events that came through, but we're gonna start off with the Ubisoft event because I feel like just going in order of when things came through. So Ubisoft had their forward event this past Saturday, and I would say they had a number of interesting announcements to say the least. We talked a little bit about it off camera at the pre-show where Riders Republic got a nice little update. We saw a couple things with Trackmania. A couple little things here and there. Some things to satisfy communities that Ubisoft already has built up. But we also got finally some more concrete information on the Division Heartlands, which is something we talked about in this past episode. I really have to say, we could cut back to it as well. Last week I said it. I really thought that the game was just gonna get dropped on Saturday, but we just got a little bit more information about it. Nothing too big, but the game's coming. They're doing another round of testing or whatnot, and it looks like it's really gonna be like a nice, like survival PvP VE style game. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. But let's be real. Let's call this what it really was. This was really the Assassin's Creed showcase, right?
Mm.
Everything that got announced around Assassin's Creed was just huge. So I'm just gonna start with my favorite announcement first off, and I think a lot of people's favorite announcements is that Assassin's Creed is coming out with like they're calling it Assassin's Creed Code Red, so it doesn't have an official name. I think what did they drop? They dropped like four different code names or games for Assassin's Creed, like mainline stories, but Code Red's the one I want to talk about first. All right. Basically, it's taking place in feudal Japan. You're gonna be a shinobi, which is like everybody's fantasy, right? Uh, so like Assassin's Creed Ninja Edition is really what I want to call it. Um, what do you guys think about this? Because this shit looks amazing. I just want to be a shinobi running around chopping people's heads off, and yeah, what's up, Minnie? Talk to me.
I mean, it's finally time. I mean, it's time we've been asking for years. Been wanting Assassin's Creed Shinobi. I mean, we got a little teaser with that. What is it called? The indie version of Assassin's Creed was like a side scroller. Like we got a little bit of that, but like we wanted the AAA title Assassin's Creed like that. Finally getting it. Looks like. Sadly, it's not coming anytime soon compared to Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is supposed to come out next year. But I'm very excited. Finally, get to see Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan, and I feel like Assassin's Creed just overall is in a good state.
Very, very good state. I would definitely agree with you on that. And we'll definitely talk a little bit about Mirage later. But Chris, I wanted to get your take on what you think about this Shinobi style Code Red.
So I'll be completely honest. This is one of those franchises that like I've barely dipped my toe into. I needed to start from like way back
Mhm.
and just play all through them. But just seeing this in particular, Hey man, I'm always here for the Japanese influence stuff. I love their culture. It's always mad cool. All the Shinobi stuff. Come on, man. Come on. I wish I had my
Mhm.
Naruto headband right now, man. Stop playing with me. You know I love me some Shinobi stuff, man. Come on, man. I can't find that shit to be bothering me. But I can only imagine some of the cool things that they put in this game, just to kind of truly embody the whole Shinobi thing. I think this is gonna be a complete competitor, I would say, to
Mhm.
like Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I mean? Because to me, this is like I don't know. I think there's a lot of Shinobi games that do come out. Like every year, I would say there's a couple, but like a lot of them aren't like big titles or like they don't have a lot of love put into them. This one, come on, man, you already know what they're gonna do. If you're even gonna look at the last game that came out, the whole Valhalla, like bruh, just based on that alone, you know how they're gonna come with this shit, man. Like stop playing, man. Like, these dudes are gonna kill this ninja shit, and it's gonna be cool. Maybe this is the one that trying to finally gets me to dig in deeper. You know what I mean? Because yeah, I don't know why. It's one of these games that I've always been intrigued with, and it's not bad to me by any means. But for whatever reason, it's just always like never been my focus. Oh, it's weird.
Yo,
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you this much, bro. If you can get your hands on like Odyssey, because Odyssey was a very good game, and I think it would be a decent point to jump back into Assassin's Creed because or jump into Assassin's Creed in general. I wouldn't recommend you go back and play the first one because it's old.
It's old as
It's
shit, ain't
like
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
dated.
outdated.
Yeah, it's very dated. But Odyssey is a great place to jump into, and I'm pretty sure it's cheap right now.
Yeah.
That's
And I
a
think Origins is on Game Pass, right?
is it?
Yeah, I think Origins is on Game Pass. So if you want to start off with,
Start there.
yeah, start there because
Mm.
that's like the
Uh,
beginning of when they took like Assassin's Creed, and made it more of like an RPG. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And actually made good games again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
all right, word.
those games are like in like Origins, Odyssey. I wanted to I wanted to call it Ragnarok, which is something we'll talk about later.
Valhalla.
Valhalla is also
I think
very
there's a
good.
triple. I think they have a triple pack on sale because what Ubisoft was having the sale overall, right?
Yeah, Ubisoft's having a big sale.
Yeah,
Um,
I think they have a triple pack bundled in already, so you might be able to get like that on sale if
if you wanted
you're
to
Right.
play all
interested.
of those, but I would definitely say if Origin is on Game Pass, just start there because that alone is going to take up like 54 like 40 hours of your time.
Damn.
Just get like it's these are like really dense games. Like they are dense RPGs, like very very good games. So
Mhm.
so yeah,
Oh, word.
if you want to dive in there. But just moving on, just kind of talking about bringing it back. This brings us to the next Assassin's Creed that they announced. It's Mirage, as many mentioned
Mhm.
beforehand, and that one looks like it's definitely going back to its roots of, back when we out here messing with Altair. Like it's not that actual character, but it's going to be taking place in the Middle East in Baghdad in particular, and it looks like that um, like tight how do I word this? Like the tight streets in the cities, but they're also like densely populated with people. So you're like trying to maneuver through that stuff.
Mhm.
Also using the parkour to get up high and run away from guards that are chasing you or trying to chase your target if you're whoever you're trying to assassinate. Like Mirage
Mhm.
looked like the original Assassin's Creed experience that I remember seeing, and that one's gonna be pretty nice. Apparently, that game was supposed to be DLC for, or at least on paper, at some point it was supposed to be DLC for Valhalla, but they decided to, pull it out and extrapolate it and make it its own game. So, really happy to see that. That's coming in 2023. If I were to guess, I would say probably sometime. I'm hoping that it's not going to be like a November 2023 thing. I'm hoping it's like in the middle of the year, maybe June, maybe March, like even February. If they decide that they're going to pack a bunch of shit into February again, I'm fine with that too. But
Mhm.
I don't want to wait for that because I think that's going to be a really good experience. They said it's a slightly smaller game. It's not going to be as big as Valhalla, and therefore they're not going to charge you the $70 price tag. I remember seeing that somewhere. It's going to be a little bit of a cheaper game, but either way, very
Mhm.
excited for that. And then just moving on real quick. So the next one, and this one I also found to be very interesting. really have nothing to go off of with this one. But the next game that they had announced was called Assassin's Creed Codename Hex, and that one's they're claiming is going to be a very different type of Assassin's Creed game, and they alluded to the fact that it may introduce witchcraft into the storyline, which is I don't even.
Hex. Okay.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
So you can see where the code name plays into, but like it's like I have absolutely no idea what to expect from that. But it's good to see that they have these ideas and they're trying different things, right? Every single one of these games that I just mentioned, they have the thread line of okay, yeah, Assassin's Creed. We know the storyline around like okay, we're following different assassins through time using the Animus. Okay, cool,
Mhm.
whatever. But they all because they're at very different times, they're featuring like almost dramatically different gameplay in the standpoint of like what the storyline could be. We're talking about shinobis. We're talking about back in the Middle East. We're talking about witchcraft, which let's say that this happens to take place during the Salem witch trials or something like that. That's interesting in that of itself.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and it looks like basically the thread that they want to weave all of this together is something they're calling Assassin's Creed Infinity. So it's not. I remember we talked about this in the past. It's not that Infinity is actually a game, but it seems like it's more of a platform or a hub that they're saying will serve as the future for Assassin's Creed franchise. So basically, Infinity is where people will go through and experience all these different games that are coming out. Again, they weren't particularly forthcoming with all the information because it seems like all this stuff's getting fleshed out. But just the fact that they had all of these different things to talk about, we didn't even get into some of the other things like they announced codename Jade, which is like an open world Assassin's Creed game for mobile devices. Like that stuff's cool. Like there's just a lot of different things that are going on with the franchise. I know they're coming out with a TV show that's going to be on Netflix. So as Manny mentioned, Assassin's Creed, very very healthy place, and as far as I'm concerned, that Ubisoft Forward event is basically that was basically just them showing us the future of Assassin's Creed. So pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, just going around the room real quick around that stuff. Any other thoughts about the Assassin's Creed titles that are announced, or just general interest in this Assassin's Creed going forward? Chris, I'll start with you.
Yeah. I mean, again, my interest is all around the board because it's more like I'm just trying to get myself, familiar with
Mm-hmm.
everything. I don't know a lot of the characters that you guys talk about and things like that, so it's going to be kind of cool to eventually be able to say at least I know some of it because I might have to watch a YouTube video or something like a full idea on what happened in the old games.
Mhm.
Which is cool. I don't mind doing that. Sometimes that shit's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what they're doing. I gotta say, it is impressive how far they've gotten with these games because how do I put this? There's certain games that come out, right? And you could kind of just know from jump. Like when Last of Us came out, we knew that was gonna be a hitter. Like you just felt it, you know what I mean? When it came to this, I knew it was gonna be a good franchise, but I didn't know it was gonna be able to do what it's been doing right now. Right now, it's on some like it's like it has a whole new breath of fresh air type of feel. And they took the games that were once you guys said more action oriented, they made them more RPG esque. Um, they've kind of developed all these new branches to their tree now, and they got the TV. Like that's impressive. Not a lot of people who come up with a video game franchise can say that they got all this shit done.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of saw this game having maybe like the Devil May Cry run. That's what I like to call it. Devil May Cry, I ain't gonna act like it wasn't a popular game. It definitely was popular, but it had a run. It's not something that I think can really go anywhere now unless they take that game and literally do what they did with God of War and make it way more RPG story focused and not so much just hack everything to death. You know what I mean? It wouldn't work, I don't think, anymore. But I looked at the game like they were only going to get maybe 3, 4 sequels, and then they're going to probably just move on to something else because how much can you get out of this? But they took it and they are squeezing everything they can out of it, and it doesn't feel like they're doing that though. That's the crazy part. Normally, when some people are just trying to get every last drop out of something, it feels you kind of be like at the end, like damn man, like all right, you're milking it, like come on, dude. But this, it's like they just keep on coming up with brand new ideas of different parts of time to kind of make a new game around. That's crazy. You know how much fucking reference they have? How much different things that they could actually do.
Yeah.
Like, imagine when they start trying to do stuff like not even based on what's in the past, and maybe they take a leap in the future. That's a crazy concept to think about. That I know that eventually one day they're gonna try to do. Because why would you not? You know what I mean? Like, you got to do a future-based Assassin's Creed. That's crazy to think about. Like, bruh, stop it. Stop.
I'm still
Come on,
waiting
man.
on that World of War Assassin's Creed, yo.
Yeah, something like that. I've been clamoring for modern day, and you know, like people joke around and
That
say like
too.
the modern day one is like Watch Dogs or whatever, which I think is pretty funny. But I like
Nah.
playing through like Assassin's Creed 2 and how some of the things shaped up in that game. I really thought that we were going to get to the modern day very quickly because the way the first couple games worked is that basically you played as Desmond, who was like in our real world or like our modern day world was a descendant of an assassin named Altair. And so they used a machine called the Animus to basically uh kind of not go through his memories per se, but like go through his ancestral like connected memory. It's a weird way to explain it, but like, you know, just to go through, use his ancestry to say, okay, let's go back into his ancestry to play as Altair and like see what Altair went through and so on and so forth. So that was kind of the whole concept around the Animus, is that, you know, whoever goes into it can access the memories of their descendants. So like you take that thread and you can push it through, you know, like narratively to say any person can just access the Animus, and then like, you know, even if you don't take the assassins storyline around it, like that alone is just an interesting concept. And then if you go, okay, well now there's this storied history of assassins versus Templars, and you know there's been some twist down the road where like Templars have been the ones that are actually using the Animus to access like some of their ancestry, so you're playing as an actual bad guy in some situations. Like it's just, that whole concept just gives you so much room to just run. In addition to the idea, like you said, of just playing through time, now you're also just playing through like, oh well, I could be a bad guy at one moment, I could do this, I could do that, and yeah, I like you said, Assassin's Creed definitely hit some weird notes before they just kind of went away for a while, and when they came back with Origins and like really hit the sweet spot with the RPG stuff, it's just amazing. But I am excited to see that Mirage is going to take more of the action adventure style back.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how they kind of juggle between like moving away from the RPG thing and doing more of the action stuff. But again, just to kind of put a pin on it, Assassin's Creed is in a great place. I really cannot wait to see what they're going to do next. Because between Hex, Mirage, and Code Red, I mean, all of those games sound very interesting. So hats out to Ubisoft there, because you know, I've personally been having some issues with Ubisoft as of recently, specifically around the Splinter Cell thing, which is, you know, the last thing I'll say about the Ubisoft event is, why the fuck did I not see anything about my boy Sam? Disappointing.
Boy.
Disappointing. I know y'all doing the
Not yet.
remake, but like, give me some information, something about my boy Sam. That's, you know, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
That's all right. Whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, let's move on to the Nintendo Direct for today. Personally, it's really funny to talk about this because Chris hit us up, right? Chris hit us up in our group chat, and he's like, "Yo, guys, you think you can go and get a Breath of the Wild 2 announcement today?" And I was like, I hit him with the Stephen A face, like, nah, like, we're not getting anything useful out of this Nintendo Direct. We know how Nintendo is; they're super disappointing. Yada 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 yada. Lo and behold, the event comes through, and we get two bangers, two heavy hitters, bro. Not only are we getting GoldenEye, the GoldenEye, you know, for those of y'all who know, if you're not as young as Manny, you know, you grew up playing it on the N64 like us, you know that was the game. That was the game that preceded Halo, that preceded Call of Duty. Like that was that game where you brought all your toxic energy playing, you know, with your cousin on a Saturday night, split screen, shoot him in the head with the golden gun. Like it's just a different vibe, the different type of energy with that game. That was the game that really exposed a lot of people in my age group and Chris's age group to first person shooters and really got us ready for all the toxicity that we were going to deal with in Call of Duty lobbies. So, you know, super exciting to see that come through. So that's actually going to be in Switch Online only, apparently, because apparently you can't buy it, so it's only going to be available through emulation. But just as a slight pivot over, it's also coming to Xbox Game Pass. So it's a slightly different situation because the Xbox version is going to be remade from well, yeah, remastered, I guess is the way they termed it, Rare in particular. But they're gonna remaster it, put it in 4K. It's gonna have online play as well, which is gonna be amazing. And yeah, they also claim that they're gonna throw a couple things in there to make it a little bit more modern because the game is quite dated. It's a 25-year-old game, so I can only imagine trying to play it in its original form on the Switch. I don't know how that's gonna go, but I'm very, very excited to know that it's coming to Xbox because we about to be in there. I'm definitely about to be in there. And then Manny, we gotta teach you, the tricks of the trade.
Wait, so
Watch
you've
me
never
like,
played it?
nah, I never had a 64.
Oh shit, my bad. Damn, I didn't know.
Well, I mean, it's like, when you're poor, you get what you can.
Hey,
Bro,
when
I
you're
didn't
poor,
have it
that's
at
when
all.
you're
I played it at
young,
my
bro.
boy's crib. Fuck you, mean? I never owned a 64. I was always at the homie's crib, bro. Every time.
That's just
Every
that you
time.
were young, Manny. I ain't no poor or nothing. Because by the time you were actually old enough
What do
to
you
play
mean,
games,
bro?
you were it probably was what, like the PlayStation 2,
Like,
PlayStation 1.
Yeah, like I said,
Probably, yeah.
PlayStation 1, but like I mean, I played like 64. That's how I got into Smash and shit. But like, I never owned one. It's just that GoldenEye wasn't. GoldenEye just wasn't one of those games.
Damn, that's crazy. That should be like a rite of passage.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, how you ain't play that by accident? Like, I don't get how you didn't just walk in the homie's room one day to play games and it wasn't just on the TV just by chance.
That literally
Nah,
feels like
man.
Manny, like somebody nowadays was like, I never played like Call of Duty or Fortnite or something like that. Like it was that game, bro.
It was literally everywhere, man.
No, man. Hey, man, like I said, I just never touched it.
That's all right. That's all right, though. You're going to get your chance coming soon, whatever that means. But yeah, super excited for that. But other thing we really want to get into is the big Nintendo game here. Well, Breath of the Wild 2. It used to be called Breath of the Wild 2, but now they've officially called it Tears of the Kingdom. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So, of course, we got a nice little trailer. Saw my boy Link diving from God knows what building or skyline or whatever, and then he I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it because I don't know. Just the fact that I saw Link just diving and flying around and stuff like that, I was just like, this has me like there's goosebumps, bro. I was just very, very, very excited because Breath of the Wild original one was just an absolute masterpiece. I love that game. That's probably the only game that caused me to consistently pick up my Switch and play it for an extended period of time. Like the Mario game came out, I enjoyed that, but I think my wife really was the one who was playing that more than me. Outside of that, man, nothing has really caught my attention on Switch like Breath of the Wild did. So I am very, very excited for Tears of the Kingdom. Chris, I mean, I'm gonna start with you on this one as we go around the room. What's your take?
Hey man, listen. First of all, it took them long enough, right? It's goddamn. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, Jesus. However, oh, man, I am excited for this game as well. I'm going to echo what you said. This is the only other game. Y'all know how I am about Pokemon. I bought the Switch strictly to play that. Nothing else. I didn't buy no Animal Crossing, no Metroid, no Mario, Pokemon. The only other thing I cared about and I played was Zelda. Zelda, man, that is, man, incredible RPG. Incredible to the point where I got mad, and I'm still mad that I can't play Genshin Impact on damn Xbox because Genshin Impact is so much like Zelda, and it's also very, very good. You guys are bastards. You need to give us the damn game. Like, come on, Jesus. But man, I can't wait to play this game. The only thing I'm hoping and I'm praying for, because this is my one gripe with the first game, it's perfect in so many ways, but I did not like how they took out the dungeons in place of the puzzle room thing that they were doing. That's my only gripe. Bring back the dungeons. I like being able to take my bomb and blow up the walls. All right, I enjoy that. it's a lot more fun and satisfying to go into a dungeon and be crawling in it and find a big boss at the end, rather than going to these puzzle rooms where you got to figure out the right angle to fucking to shoot your shit, or you got to time something the right way. Like that was cool too, and maybe you could still do something like that because it's still okay to have in the game. But I need my caves and dungeons, man. You can't not give me that too. Like that's a classic part of the Zelda games for me.
You know, Chris, it's funny you mention this because I have a game for you.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's called Elden Ring.
Oh no.
I knew he was gonna do that. Oh man.
Elden Ring's
I
got
knew
all
he
the
was gonna
caves
do
and
that.
tunnels and
It's been
boss fights,
months.
boss fights that you can ask for, bro. Just saying, you know.
I'm gonna get in there. I am. I promise.
Here's how the game's been out for 8 months already, man.
Bro, I won't even get to play. Like, geez, dude. Listen, I'm gonna get
still
in there.
maidenless. No, it's not.
Yo, come on, fam. Don't do that to me.
You're here
Don't do
tonight,
that.
bro. You on tonight.
Don't do that. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I do have to get food, but I'm not mad at that.
We'll see.
Y'all carrying? Y'all carrying?
I'll join you. If you gonna get in there today, I will definitely join you. But
It depends. It's 2K season.
nah, I'm in there. I'm definitely in there.
Yeah.
If that gets this man to play, I'm in there. It is 2K season. I'm gonna still be grinding on the side, but if this man get in there, I'm there. I'm there. I'm pulling up. We ain't playing no games with that shit. But yeah, that's if you want that experience though, it's there. It's on your Xbox.
Yeah.
You already own it. You know,
Well, you know what it was too, though, man. It's like sometimes you would walk past the cracks in the wall and you didn't even notice that you can go in a location, and you would realize it later. And that's another thing that I really liked. It's like it was like, oh shit, this was here the whole time. Yo, bust this open, bro. Let's go. Let's walk in. Oh, there's a big ass chest in here, bro. I was broke back then. I could have used these rupees, man. Come on, man. Like, yeah, I like the dungeon thing, man. It was cool. It was cool. Bring it back.
I mean, especially considering I played so much Elden Ring, I can definitely attest to that, man. Like pulling up on a dungeon and knowing that you know there's some sort of carrot at the end of it, whether it's a new weapon or some new armor piece or just something, bro, something that I needed to help myself get a little bit stronger or whatever it is. Yeah, that's what's up.
I'm sorry. I remember I was playing Fallout 76 and I found a location I ain't never been in before, right?
Mhm.
Bro, it just kept on going, the dungeon. So I was like, oh shit, it's this big of a location. There's gotta be something wild at the end, yo. Word. Let me keep going. I keep going, and I'm fighting shit off on my way. And then I got to a certain part in the dungeon, right? I ain't never seen this shit in Fallout before, bro. This thing came out of nowhere. I had to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to dip. I was like, bro, I don't even know what tunnel I went through to get to where I'm at. But if I keep going forward and I run into that shit, your boy's toast. So yeah, it's time to skedaddle. I don't need that sword that bad. I don't need what the fuck is at the end of this shit. All it's gonna do is poison motherfuckers. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'll go back and give me some stim packs. I'm good. I'm good.
It's funny you say that because
But
I've also had that experience in Elden Ring. I'm like, you know what? We might have to come back for that later because I ain't trying to lose no souls for this. So
yeah.
Mhm.
and Manny, I know you know because we've been out there battling. So, but
Yeah, it does.
but Manny, I want to get your take on Tears of the Kingdom though. What you think about this Zelda game, man?
I mean, I'm not a big Zelda person, so I'm not gonna like BS and be like, "Oh, this game looks great." I mean, it looks good, but it's not something I'll be like playing day one. You know what I'm saying? You shaking your head, Chris, but like you know, it's just like basically from what I grew up with. I ain't grew up with Zelda like you guys did, so like you know, I just don't have as much care as you guys do.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. You never played Breath of the Wild though?
I played a little bit of it, but I just got bored personally.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
Just
but
curious.
that's pretty much it.
Because again, making the parallel between Elden Ring, I know you've played Elden Ring, so I'm curious. You know, do you what's the difference for you?
I don't know. I just, like I said, it just got boring for me. Elden Ring, I feel like there was just like a lot to do, but I mean, maybe I just wasn't paying attention too much or whatever. But I just got bored quickly on Breath of the Wild.
No, that's totally fair. That's totally fair.
Did,
I mean,
did you fight any of the bosses? I just have to ask.
Probably didn't get that far. It's been what 6 years, 5 years since the game came out.
yeah, it's been a minute.
I
I
yeah,
still,
like
I
I
still
mean,
think
it came with the Switch. I tried it out for a little bit, and I
Mm.
just never finished it.
Man's got it for free and didn't finish it. Lord have mercy. What?
Hey, I mean, Chris, you can't talk, bro. You ain't played Elden Ring, and Elden Ring is a much.
But
better
I didn't
game.
get it for free. I didn't get it for
or-
free.
That's even worse.
Right.
That's even
Or
worse.
Assassin's Creed. You know what I'm saying? You want to play Assassin's Creed, Chris?
That's true too.
Assassin's Creed ain't it's not Zelda. All right, don't do that. Don't do that.
I
It's
mean,
not
you can
Zelda.
kind of compare it because,
It's
like,
definitely
No,
comparable.
Zelda-
no.
It's comparable.
your
I don't
generation.
know.
All right, so like, let's say
It's
your
comparable.
generation, Zelda was a shit. In my generation, Assassin's Creed was a shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like-
comparable. It's definitely comparable.
Yeah.
That game was
You
huge when it
cannot-
came out. It was very good.
Assassin's Creed at one point was like Call of Duty, where it was just releasing every year, and people would just buy it just because
They
of the
were
name.
doing like a lot of games.
So,
I do remember that. That
you
shit
know
was
what I'm saying?
crazy. That shit was type crazy. But I mean, shit. There's a lot of Zelda games too. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I have to look into that. I don't know.
All I'll say,
Yeah.
all I'll say is I can understand specifically the contrast between Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring, and why many play more Elden Ring, because I personally think Elden Ring is a much better game, and I will rave about Breath of the Wild. I still think that's an absolute masterpiece, but Elden Ring is like on a different level for me too. So like that's probably one of the only games that had me just engrossed for a good month, 2 months, just playing that shit every single day. So yeah, Chris, you got to get on board, bro. Got to get on board. But we're gonna move on to the final event here, and that is the Sony State of Play event that also took place this evening. And man, we got some hitters in that one too, man. Like I would say definitely more than the Nintendo one. And then the Ubisoft one was interesting because of the Assassin's Creed stuff, but like Sony came to play, bro. Like I really wasn't expecting too much from this one. State of Play, sometimes they can be hit or miss as far as content goes. So I kind of tend to lower my expectations, but there was some very interesting stuff. They started it off pretty strong with the Tekken 8 reveal. I was certainly not expecting that, and the game looked beautiful. I wish I got more understanding of what was going on in the game. The way they were presenting it, right, with like some of the mechanics of like them fighting, or like the punches and whatnot, and like how they were dodging some of the punches, it kind of made me think that they were trying to emphasize that hitboxes were a little bit more precise, which is obviously important in a fighting game, and like to have the physics, like actually understand where a punch is in real time, and like to be able to evade it. I may be reading a little bit too much into the trailer, but that was one of the things that I kind of was thinking was happening there. Like even there was a moment where I think one of them tried to do a leg sweep, and the other guy kind of jumped in the air a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, are they trying to like say that that's like something you really do in the game, or is it just all cinematic? Like I couldn't really tell there what was going on, and I also wasn't entirely sure if it was gameplay because it just looked so goddamn good. So they did say stay tuned. I'm pretty sure Tokyo Game Show is coming up pretty soon. This seems like the perfect thing to get a bigger reveal there. So, definitely something to keep our eye on. And let's see, what else did there were two exclusive games that Sony's saying console exclusives that I wanted to
Stellar
get into.
Blade. That's one of them, right?
Yep. So Stellar Blade is the first one, and that game used to be called Project Eve, for those of you who may have remembered it being announced in the past. And that game looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna shut up and not talk about that just yet, because I'm gonna let you guys kind of get into it. But the other one was let's see here. Damn, what was it called, guys? I'm gonna need your help on this one.
Rise of
Is that
Ronin.
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
That's
the
it,
Shinobi
okay.
one, right?
Because there were three like Japanese specific, well, actually multiple Japanese specific games.
Yeah.
Two of them were exclusive, and then there was another one that was the Yakuza spinoff, like the Like a Dragon spinoff, that was more like an action-based game. That one's cool too. But so, like you guys said, the Ronin one, and then the Stellar Blade
Mhm.
we got to talk about it. So I'm gonna let each of y'all just kind of go because I've been talking about all these games a lot. Manny, I'm gonna let you start it off, man. What you think about Stellar Blade? What you think about that Ronin game as well?
Yeah, I still gotta play Neo 1 and 2 because it's the same developer for this Rise of Ronin game. Great games. People even compare it to Dark Souls and because of how challenging it is. So it's definitely dope to see Rise of Ronin, like just the way the gameplay look and how to even like incorporate like samurai with weapons. Like you would have thought you seen like a samurai use a fucking revolver or a musket. Shit's hilarious. But yeah, it definitely does look fun. Ninja Theory or whatever they're called nowadays is fucking always killing it in my opinion. So I can't wait to see how this game plays out. And Stellar Blade, the game looks beautiful. Like graphically, combat with the particle effects and all that kind of things. I would give it a try. The only thing is, like, this game is so expensive nowadays. I just wish they could just put one of these games at least in the PlayStation service. But
Who knows, man?
other than that, like the games definitely do look dope, eye catching. Something intriguing for a PlayStation exclusive. We talk about the exclusive battles, and you know, I would say these are definitely hitters, top tier quality,
Big,
possibly.
big, big time hitters. I'm trying to look up the game. Wasn't there one that got announced for Xbox as well? Wu
Yeah, I
Long,
forgot what the one.
Wu Long, Fallen Dynasty. So it's interesting how
Oh,
Team
I remember
Ninja's playing this
that.
out, right? Because
Hmm.
so Team Ninja's making Wu Long that's supposed to be dropping on Xbox. Oh, okay. Apparently, it's not an exclusive. I'm looking up here. It says it might actually come to PlayStation as well. So that's interesting. Um,
Hmm.
okay, so I mean they have that.
But I think that would be like I think that game's on Game Pass though, so I
Okay,
think that's the only reason why they showcased it.
okay. So yeah, there's Wulong, which looked pretty cool, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about that. And then we have Rise of the Ronin. So one's coming in 2023, the next one's coming in 2024. As far as the Team Ninja games go, but
Hmm.
the Stellar Blade game, that one should be coming in 2023 as well. So man, yeah, so Sony killing it there, man. They really are. Chris, what you think
They're
about
not
those two?
playing. Hmm. Stellar Blade looks beautiful. But I hate to say this, it's one of those games where like I know it looks gorgeous, the gameplay looks really good, but I'm always worried about if it's going to be one of these games that like I just can't really get into the story behind it,
Mm.
because it just gives me those vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm willing to, see what's going on, and maybe they'll prove me wrong. But man, I don't know. I played so many of those types of games. It's really hard for me to get into them nowadays, man. It's just unless I really care about something visually, it's tough. It is tough. Final Fantasy still gets that from me. I will still play a Final Fantasy game, but that's mostly because of the mechanics. They change them up every single generation, and that kind of is cool to me. Like I've done some stuff in some Final Fantasy games that I've never experienced in other RPGs. Just how they manipulate their version of the time based thing. Like I remember there was I want to say 13 where there was a game, not a game, but there's a part of the game where basically while you're fighting, you have different like loadouts, but you have to almost like switch them midway through the fight. Like if somebody's gonna charge up a certain kind of attack, then you can switch out to your whole other loadout that has a whole other super and shit attached to it, and willy nilly just wheel and deal them like that. And it was like, yo, this is really cool. Other games don't like experiment with this kind of stuff, but Final Fantasy will always still get my look, even though I don't like the stories usually, but it'll still get my look. Um, and then the Rise of Ronin one, yeah, that shit looks fucking dope. I can't really say much more besides that. It looks dope. I'm totally here again for all this Japanese inspired stuff. Um, yeah, that game just looks cool. I can't really say much more besides that. Like it literally just looks like a cool ass game, and I'm here for the RPG open world. Like, yeah, I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
and story wise, since you're mentioning story, that game looks like it will deliver. I feel like Team Ninja has some fun and interesting stories. Like nothing crazy serious or groundbreaking or anything like that, but you can always follow them. You understand what's going on. And I get the vibe that the Rise of the Ronin game is going to be, you know, very straightforward as far as story goes. So I'm excited to not only play that open world samurai experience, but actually have good cinematics, good story telling around it. I'm still just waiting for Team Ninja to just hit us with a Ninja Gaiden game, bro. Like
Yeah.
I want that. Like let's get back to that. I mean, but I guess in some ways, like that's kind of what we're getting from some of these games. Like Wulong could also fulfill that void that Ninja Gaiden's been, that's been left for we basically we've all been talking about Ninja Gaiden for a while now, and that's something that I've been looking forward to.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe when they're done with these two games, Wulong and Rise of the Ronin, maybe they'll pop up with a little surprise about Ninja Gaiden. But to your point about Stellar Blade, though, Chris, I'm curious. I'm really curious about the story. If it's gonna hold up, if it's gonna make any sense, because everything looks really wild right now. It just looks
I feel like there's a lot of like Western, games. They always look beautiful. The gameplay is probably great, but the story is just all over the place. So,
Yeah.
You mean Japanese ones?
Let's see this one.
Yeah, no,
That's what I meant.
Japanese ones.
I get my East and West messed up.
Yeah. But at the same time though, there has been this big push to make certain Japanese games be a little bit more cohesive with the storytelling and whatnot. And this could fulfill that, talking about Elden Ring. Elden Ring was one of those games that that had more of a Western style story, and I think that obviously having George R.R. Martin write the story has a big role to play in that. But things have changed a little bit, so we'll see. I can tell you for sure, as far as the stylized action and all that stuff, gameplay wise, they got me. They sold me. I'm probably gonna get this, and we'll see if I get disappointed by the story. But I know I'm not gonna be disappointed by the gameplay. So
I gotta see a couple more trailers. Something. Give me a couple more. I gotta see some more stuff.
Probably so the last one, and then this is the one where this trailer definitely pushed it even further for me. Like we talked about it a couple weeks ago, seeing gameplay finally from God of War, and this trailer that they dropped today, man, there's just a lot of the way this story is shaping up, like the cinematics of it all. I just say this one thing, right? There's this one moment in the trailer where and I always forget this boy's name, but Kratos' son, Atreus, he shoots an arrow at the sun, and the sun just dips, and something is chasing after the sun, and it just cuts through the sky. Holy shit, that looked so beautiful, bro. I was like, I don't even know what's going on right now. All I know is that this thing just chased the sun, and now the moon is here, and it sliced the hole through the sky, and everything just looks colorful and beautiful. And I was just like, God damn.
When it was fighting Thor at the end, bro.
Oh my god. When he threw the axe, and the axe hit
that Thor's ever. Bro, this game. I'm sorry, but like, I feel like we already said it. We think Elden Ring set the stone game of the year, but I'm sorry. I think the hype of this game is probably just gonna overtake it and just somehow steal it.
It could, man.
This game looks fucking amazing. I just like it's long overdue, man. Like almost 5 years in the making. Finally got it. Trailer looks amazing, and that shot that you said when he was like shooting at the sun with the arrow, bro. That just scenery right there with them chilling with the wolf, bro. Like,
yeah, that was dope.
Shit looks so beautiful, bro. Like this game, it may not be like as much of an improvement from the last God of War graphically, but like shit, the last God of War looked amazing. This shit looks even better.
I'm sorry, that moment alone, like just from an art style, like every visual term that you can fucking come up with, bro. Like that scene alone was just awe-inspiring. I'm like, dude, just take my money. Take my money. It's not many games that Sony gets me like that for, man. But I don't know. They really, this showcase did it for me. Just that simple.
Word up.
Yeah, God of War has always been that game, and I'm just glad that it's fucking gone this route. Like, like the last trilogy or whatever. That shit was just all mayhem, chaos. This shit is like more story driven. I'm glad he got on the story driven route.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
it
definitely.
definitely gave him one life for sure.
Right. They cleaned
Yeah.
everything
Yo, I
up.
remember. I remember watching this shit earlier, and Denzel was like, me and Denzel were watching, and they showed God of War in the beginning, and they showed a controller, bro.
Yo, they hit me with the fake out.
We were like, that's it?
I was
Get
tight.
the shit out of it. We were like, this shit is trash. And then all you hear is like the, you know, when the fucking the whole trailer go through, and I'm like, yo, okay, we get shine.
Bro,
That shit was crazy.
I was speechless. Damn, this is.
Did look good. This probably was one of the better trailers I think I've seen for it for sure. Just because I don't know, it looked like a lot of the stuff before looked very samey, but like this one, like you even see some environments that you don't see normally in a game like
Exactly.
God of War. Like there's that one environment where they're fighting, and I don't know where the fuck they are, but it looked like some cosmos shit. Like they got some galaxies and shit in the background. I was like, where the fuck is? What is this? This is not the God of War I know. I know the the rubble and the
Fire and brimstone and
yeah, it's always just rough, but
Yep.
this is pretty. What is this? Is this a nebula? Like, oh, this is nice.
Well, Chris,
Yeah.
I'll be streaming it. You can come watch your boy play the hell out.
When's it come out again?
November 8th.
I bet.
Mark your calendars, because
Yeah.
you're not gonna find me
man.
that day. That's for damn sure.
Oh my god, November 9th. It's November 9th.
9th. It says
Man, that's less than 2 months.
Oh my god. This always happens. I'll be looking at this article. It always tells me
It's probably
date
like the
that's off.
8th for like a specific place, like New Zealand or fucking.
That's so weird though, because this is an American article. But yeah, let's see. What is this? What
Well,
day
if it's
is that?
Pacific Standard, I mean, it might come out 9 o'clock for Pacific
possible.
Standard.
That's a Wednesday. The 9th is a Wednesday.
The 9th can't be a Wednesday, is it?
Yeah, November 9th is a Wednesday.
All right, but like, this is about to go down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't care when it comes out. Whenever it does, I'm there.
yeah.
Time stops.
Ready.
Word up.
But yeah, guys.
Man.
I mean, I think that concludes it, man. Again, 3 big showcases. We didn't even talk about the Marvel one. We'll save that for another time because there's really only one thing to talk about, and that we don't have that much information about it. So whenever we do, we'll talk more about it. But a bunch of big showcases. We do have the not Marvel. Getting my words mixed up. We have the ID at Xbox showcase that's going to be happening tomorrow. We'll see, what becomes of that. I'm hoping we'll get some news that Sifu's finally coming to Xbox Game Pass because your boy's a big Sifu fan over here. But yeah, we will. We'll keep just digesting what's coming through, and we'll talk to you guys about it. And we want to hear what you guys have to say about all this stuff too, man. Make sure you guys hit us up on our social media platforms. You can hit us up at Twitter. Our Twitter is at XPackPod. On Instagram, also at XPackPod. And of course, we're up on the TikTok at Expansion Pack Podcast. Let us know what you guys think about this stuff. Also, hit us up in the comments down below if you're watching on YouTube. Because we just want to hear, what games are you guys the most excited about from all of these, which Assassin's Creed are you the most excited about? You excited to play some GoldenEye? If you're like Chris and I and you played it back in the day, let us know what your favorite experience of GoldenEye was. Just talk to us, guys. Well, that's what we're here for. We want to start a conversation. We love talking about games. So that's it for now. We'll check you guys out next week. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Peace.
Yeah.